is an encore presentation of the Marie Manuchehri Show. Marie decided to take a couple weeks off, wrap up the summer. Until then, here's an encore show from last week.
Welcome to the Marie Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning, everyone. We are live in. It is rainy in Seattle, but I must admit, when I pulled out of the driveway this morning, everything just looks so happy. I mean, it's like, it's not freezing. It's not super pouring. It's just misty, but all the flowers were like standing up straight and the grass looks so green. And I always talk about the weather at the top of the show so that wherever you are in the world, no matter what time of day it is, you can get present, not present to Seattle weather necessarily, but maybe look out your own window or remind yourself of what time of day it is. Because when you're in the present moment, that's when things have the most profound activation of change and healing and growth of consciousness. Everything happens in the nothingness, and the present moment is the most profound nothingness that could ever exist. One of my favorite things to do on the show is to interview people who I believe are on the leading edge of thought, and today is one of those days. I'll be interviewing Lauren Walker. She is the author of The Energy to Heal, Find Lasting Freedom from Stress and Trauma through Energy Medicine Yoga, just got released. Congratulations. She'll be talking to us soon. Lauren previously published Energy Medicine Yoga, Amplify the Healing Power of Your Yoga Practice by Sounds True, and the Energy Medicine Yoga Prescription, also by Sounds True. Lauren teaches Energy Medicine Yoga across the U.S. and internationally, has been featured many times in Yoga Journal, Mantra Magazine, Yoga Digest, and published a feature article about her yoga work in the New York Times. In 2016, she was named one of the top 100 most influential yoga teachers in America. And for more of her work, you can just go to energymedicineyoga.net. Welcome to the show, Lauren. It's so lovely to have you.
Thank you. It's so beautiful to be back with you, Marie. I just love speaking with you, and you bring such wisdom already just with the talking about the weather in the present moment. It's like, oh yes, it's beautiful. I'm excited for this time together.
Well, you and I met in Canada. I believe we were both teaching. I think that's where we first met. Do you recall?
Actually, you were instrumental in getting me to teach at Hollyhock.
Oh.
We hadn't met yet, but you had read my books and you referred me to the team at Hollyhock, and I am forever grateful to you for that.
It was lovely. And then I think we met there. We were both teaching, I think, something like that. But I just think I met you in Hollyhock. But it's lovely to see your face again, and congratulations. This book is timely. I love it. I absolutely love it. And one of the first things you write in the introduction, which is so incredibly profound, you wrote, the truth is, and I'm paraphrasing here, you have endless ability to heal from any experience you've gone through, which is so incredibly true because it's all based in energy. Everything's based in energy. I'm sure you have talked till the cows come home about everything is energy. And I still think the majority of the population still doesn't understand this concept that everything you can see is made out of subatomic particles. And even though it's solid material from our perception, it's constantly moving. But so are every, centimeter of your organs, everything of your physiology is completely subatomic particles. So I just love what you wrote because your power, you write, you have this endless amount of power that lives within you. And this very moment, this power is energy, and you can move energy. Anybody can move energy. They may not recognize this, but they absolutely can. So how are one of the ways that you help your students and your clients and your readers to recognize, again, for the millionth time, that everything is subatomic particles?
That's a great question, because that really, I think, is the sort of stumbling block or the gate that keeps people separated from being able to really dive in and do some profound healing, even what we might call miraculous healing, even though we know that miracles happen all the time, and they're actually just sort of common events that can happen for everybody. We just don't understand how, so we name them miracles. But I think that understanding of what is energy is the block that people have. And so I have spent years studying the science behind this, studying with different teachers, trying to understand field theory and quantum theory and all of that, because it is so powerful to know. And it's sort of a step out of your conscious mind, because like you said, everything looks solid. I touch my physical body. I'm like, yep, I'm here. I'm like looking at you through a computer. I can touch the computer. It feels pretty solid. If it fell on my toe, it would hurt. But the thing is, that is true. And everything is energy. And so that vibrating bits of information, what Nassim Haramein has taught me the most is they're called plunks, plunk oscillating bits of information. That's the smallest bit of thing that we have discovered. And knowing that we could go smaller than that, but we can't really categorize it or see it or, measure it any smaller. But that is the essence of everything. The whole universe is just vibration, just sound, just light, information. And I think one of the ways that you can sort of start to understand that is you think about things like radio or TV. Before maybe you were plugging into the Ethernet, you turned on your TV and there were pictures on the TV. I Love Lucy was on TV, Happy Days. How did that happen? Where did they come from? You turn on your radio, you're in your car, all of a sudden you're hearing Dionne Warwick or, you're hearing Smashing Pumpkins. How are you hearing that? It is waves. And those waves, those radio waves, those microwaves carry information. And that information gets transformed by whatever device it is that's receiving it, and broadcasts out whatever it is that you have tuned into. Okay, so you also are a receiver of information. You could consider yourself a radio tower, and you're tuning into Marie. I'm tuning into Lauren. And so I'm picking up the information that then spins into physical reality, and I appear as Lauren. But underneath Lauren, I'm just a Planck field vibrating really, really, really fast.
Love it.
Yeah. So part of my work is sort of getting that metaphorical understanding to be understanding it as metaphor and then understanding that it actually is reality.
It is. And that was very lovely. Thank you for describing it again so that our listeners and so people can be reminded how not only is this real, but it's also extremely powerful. And in your book, you talk about that people work with energy all the time. They may not be aware of it. Like you and I consciously work with it. We know that perception is everything. And one of the things that we're doing to the best of our ability is helping to change the perception of others so that they can have a different experience. And you write in the book that you've worked with energy. If like you said, something fell on your toe and it would hurt, of course, right? And we forget that that's energy too. You would lean over and massage your toe. And that's you working with energy. Whenever you've had a headache and you put your hands on your temples and you're massaging your head, that's working with energy. So we're working with energy all the time. Even parents are profoundly doing this with their kids. Their kids fall down and scrape their knee. And the first thing you do is you put your hands around the scrape, you start hugging that person and you're moving subatomic particles. So we're engaging with our energy all the time, but we don't recognize that this engagement could go much deeper and more profoundly to release traumas. And right now, the world is drenched in trauma, unfortunately, more so than ever. I mean, obviously, the pandemic, which is still, engaging around the world. We have a weird war. I mean, there's always a war somewhere, right? And then, of course, politically, things are interesting, to say the least, right? And then you have your own personal traumas that have happened throughout the years, which could be triggered at any moment or are constantly triggered for some people all the time. You write in your book, and I really want you to talk about this part even more so. And of course, you can talk about whatever you want, but you talk so beautifully about how animals know how to release traumas in their body, and they're like fighting each other in the wild and eating each other, or being chased. Like today, I opened up the front door and 3 little bunnies were running, like, okay, I wonder how long they're going to be existing with the coyotes that are not too far away. But they know how to shake off the trauma, so to speak. So maybe you could talk to that a little bit, because I think that helps people to understand that they have power within them to do all the things that you have provided for them to do.
Yeah. So, that's a really profound piece of releasing trauma. And I think one of the things to understand is that, we are animals as well. We are creatures and we have this innate wisdom, just like animals do. But because we have so civilized ourselves, and you could take that for whether that's real or not, because I think a lot of things of civilization are actually barbaric. However, because we are so steeped in this sort of mental construct of what we need to be doing to even to think about caretaking for yourself, and then that piece sort of falls away of the natural things that we have evolved to do. Energy medicine, aside from the energy medicine yoga, but energy medicine is how we got here today. If we didn't have these tools as part of our repertoire for thousands of years, we wouldn't exist today. And so things like that you just mentioned, like massaging a part of your body that hurts, or rubbing your tummy, or all of these different things, ways to release stress, have come with us through evolution and allowed us to be where we are today. And so that shaking off is a natural way and a very easy way of releasing the energetic imprints of trauma and stress. And so trauma and stress react in the body in very, very similar ways physiologically. And it is an input of energy into your system. And it's easy to see that when you think about like a physical thing that happens, right? So my computer drops on my toe, bam, there's a physical insult to my toe. That is also an energetic impulse to the physical body, right? Something has come in, moved, hit me very hard, and now I have pain. So you can rub that, but also you shake that, you release that energy out of the fields of the body. And where that becomes even more profound is when the insult isn't a physical, when it's an emotional or a spiritual, that still affects and impinges the physical body as well as the emotional and spiritual bodies, all of these fields that are kind of guiding us, but we don't see it. We feel it, but we don't see it the way something hitting your toe, you feel and see that. And so we're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. I feel sad. I want to curl up in a ball and cry. I'm feeling angry. I want to go yell and scream. But shaking off the body the way animals do is one really profound way to release that insulting energy, that disruptive energy from the system. And it's very, very powerful to do.
Wow. I just love the way you talked about the animals, because they do, like my dog Charles, if we go on a walk and he smells some dog and they don't like each other for whatever reason, right? And they start growling at each other, right? And then of course we pull them away and nobody gets hurt. But yeah, he shakes off and then he's happy again. He's prancing down the path as if nothing happened. And so literally through energy medicine yoga, there's many techniques that you have created and used with many people around the world. We can reduce, eradicate, and come back to the original imprint of our consciousness and our awareness, rather than these layers and layers of pain, emotional pain, let's say, and physical pain, that are stopping us from really living a wonderful and amazing life. And as you write so beautifully in the book too, which is really important, these stresses and traumas, if we don't deal with them, they can lead to disease, unfortunately. This is really what is stress. Even modern medicine says stress is what causes disease in the body.
Stress is the number one cause of disease in the body. And one of the top causes of stress in the body is unprocessed emotion. So you extrapolate. Unprocessed emotion leads to stress, stress leads to disease, unprocessed emotion leads to disease. And there's many studies that corroborate this. What it really comes down to is we need to learn how to deal with our emotions. And that doesn't just mean like letting it go. It means harvesting the information that your emotions are providing you. And emotions are are powerful. We need to pay attention to them. We need to listen to them. We need to be guided by them. And then we need to release the energy of them and act on the information that they've given us. And we don't look at emotions as something to study or worthy of our time and attention. And what we come up with is the world we're in today, which is just drowning in these challenging emotions with no tools of how to get beyond. So we're stuck in fear and anger and anxiety and grief and worry, and all of those cause stressors to the body. And we are just sick. We're just sick in so many ways. And we owe it to ourselves just personally. Who wants to feel that way? Who wants to be afraid all the time or angry all the time? You can't really function in your life if you're constantly under the stressors that are holding you back from just being peaceful. It's not even, I mean, yes, ultimately shine your light out, do your work in the world, be engaged, be happy, be glorious. But at the very just basic, like just be peaceful and calm and centered in your own day to day.
Absolutely. And I think so many people don't really know really the true essence of who they are or their magnificence or what they could be experiencing in life in every way because of all this repressed emotional baggage that they refuse to investigate. And so I love that there's these tools that you have through movement of your body that allows one person or anyone, of course, to release the stagnation and to grow into the authentic aspect of who they are, which really does feed the world. It feeds them first and foremost, but it feeds the world. And we really need our immune systems to be functioning at a very high level these days. And if you have a lot of repressed anger, frustration, fear, it's not great for your immune system. It's not helping your solar plexus, your hormones, your lymphatic system. It's not helping any of that and major organs, because a lot of organs absorb negative energy.
Oh, yes. I mean, they're all aligned, like so we have 9 energy systems that essentially run your body. And those are from which everything else arises. And then all the physiological systems that you mentioned are all affected by these energy systems. So just like you said, if you're not dealing with and expressing your fears and transforming those into courageous actions or courageous thoughts and experiences, then your bladder and kidney, all the waterworks of your body are going to be affected by that, and not in a good way. And that is a huge system of the body. It's not just your bladder and kidneys and your ability to cleanse, to clean the whole system and to release excess water. It keeps the saline levels optimized in the body. It runs your nervous system, how you feel and respond to everything in your world. These are important systems to have online and working at their coherent best. And if you are not doing these techniques to bring your body into harmony, you are challenging all these systems. And in the worst scenarios, these systems are breaking down into dis-ease patterns and into things that we don't want to deal with. We really don't have the time. If you don't think you have the time to deal with your anger or your fear, you really don't have the time to deal with some crazy disease.
You really don't. And by that time, you're too exhausted to really work on the emotional component when you have to go in for treatments and take medications. And it's people can do it, obviously, and they can with a lot of support and help, but you don't want to do it then. You absolutely don't want to do it. I also love how you talked in the book, because people always think like trauma is terrible things too, but people are also traumatized by happiness and joy, and have, good things could be happening in their life, and they might self-sabotage or not be able to really ride the wave of success or love or improving health if they don't feel good about themselves, or they don't love themselves, or there could be multiple things that put them into a place where they start to hold themselves back from their incredible successes. Yeah, good things can be traumatic too, right? Unfortunately.
No, I mean, that self-sabotage is a real thing. And, I keep thinking, I just finished watching Grace and Frankie, and there's a whole piece of it about, Grace not wanting to ever feel her emotions or deal with her emotions her whole life. And I think one of the things is we fear them, we push them away. She uses alcohol. We use many different things to not touch into our emotions. and so there's two pieces there. One is that with this work there's sort of two tracks. You can take a very intellectual track, and I'm a very intellectual person, so I want to know everything. Why did this happen? Why did I react this way? Why did I do that? Why did they do that? Very intellectual. But then there's a whole somatic piece that's in the physical body, in the energetic body, where you don't have to go into the story. And that is wonderful for people like Grace, who don't want to excavate what's going on. But the other piece that you said too was also in that show is so wonderful, about Coyote finally doing well in his life and his mother fearing that he was going to go and pull a coyote and throw himself off the rails because of his past patterns of trauma and self-destruction, that when life is so good, we can self-destruct because of the other traumas in our life, our stressors, our histories that we haven't dealt with. And we see that playing out all the time. People that are just at the cusp of success and then shoot themselves in the foot. We might have seen something just happen at the Oscars.
I know. I was just thinking about that. Like he's about to win the most prestigious award, and he's young to get this award, which he did receive. And he does something crazy, like unnecessarily crazy. Yeah. Right.
But you can, I always try to get to a place where I can understand what someone's actions are, no matter how egregious and how awful or strange or bizarre. Why did somebody act in a particular way? And I think, I don't know Will Smith. I don't know his whole story. But as a Black man in America, even a very successful Black man, and he's talked about this always, sort of the struggles that he's had within his industry as a Black man. And I can extrapolate. I have Black men in my family. I see the struggles that they go through daily. I'm a white middle-class woman, so obviously I don't have those same, but I have empathy and compassion, and I can see and extrapolate. Wow, what must that life be like? Just from a very teeny limited, could I imagine for a moment?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so the pain and the suffering and the struggle, and then being in that intense pressure cooker, and then one thing that just triggered him. And we don't know why that was his trigger, but it was.
Yeah.
And what that shows to me is the traumas that so many of us hold that aren't expressed, that can really derail us if we don't release those energetic imprints from our energy systems. And, he has the opportunity now to do that work, but God bless, so sad that he had to go through that in such a public way. And I have a lot of compassion for him and for anyone that is struggling and that is acting out in ways that don't serve them. But then in larger ways, when we see people in high positions of power that are acting out in their power positions and causing incredible pain and suffering for a lot of people,
right,
that's when I feel like we need two things. We need a boundary, stop. You're not allowed to do that. It's non-negotiable. You're not allowed to do that. And then let's take you someplace so that you can heal, so that you don't even want to do that anymore. Right.
I love it. I just love it. I think we're far away from being able to take people off to, a nice padded room where they can, with some beautiful herbs and delicious food and lovely yoga clothes, and let them scream and yell for an hour. I mean, you and I would be happily do that, in a heartbeat. Like, okay, yeah, sign me up. I'll go in, But individuals can do this on their own. And, you have all the tools and the techniques here in your beautiful new book, The Energy to Heal, Finding Lasting Freedom from Stress and Trauma, which is really wonderful through energy medicine yoga, which was just released. You just had it released. So congratulations for the publication of it. And the wonderful thing is, if you're a parent and you're reading this book, you can help your kids, because kids have a lot of stressors. Obviously the world and pandemic information is also a stressor for children, but just kids can be mean to each other at school. Teachers can have bad days. Kids feel stress academically. And parents can offer that information for their children. They come home from school, they tell a terrible story, and now you can go, oh, I'm going to go to chapter so-and-so. I remember that was an easy one. And you can help your kids so that they don't have to carry that stress through all their lives and work on it when they're finally in some sort of calm aspect of themselves, right? Which is a blessing. No matter when you do it, it's a blessing. But to be able to teach children to do that at such an early age is really quite profound. So yeah, I just love your book. I would encourage people to purchase this book. Where can people find you, Lauren?
So you can find me at energymedicineyoga.net or EMYoga.net. They'll both take you there. And everything that I'm doing is on the website there, links to all the social and upcoming courses. We actually have a course, a companion course to the book that's coming out at the beginning of June. And that is, people learn in different ways, different styles. Some people will just pick up the book, read it, run with it, have all the tools they need, and they're good to go. Other people are more visual learners, interactive learners, and that's what that course is for. So we'll have a practice every week and then an hour live Q&A with me to kind of unpack anything that you're not clear about or unsure about. And that's a really beautiful course coming up. And I just want to talk for a moment just about what you said for teens. I remember when I first started studying this work and I thought, I wish I had these tools when I was a kid. Junior high and high school were absolutely misery for me. It was such a struggle on every level. And I actually created a class called Tools for Teens, and it's available on the website. I think it's only like $25. All of the money goes to a local nonprofit here that is working on preventing teen suicide, which is a huge issue. And I actually created the course after 2 experiences with young people. One was my cousin, and I was visiting, and I just saw him kind of going off the rails and struggling and screaming and not having any way to just bring himself back to center. And another good friend of mine here who's now in college, he's doing really well, but he struggled so much in high school and actually had a suicide attempt, and it was devastating for him and his family. Thank God it didn't succeed. But I actually piloted a local class with him in it and some other students because I was like, we need to help the kids today. They really need tools to release the emotions that they're feeling. Both the ones that are being bullied and the bullies, like both sides of the equation need to be able to work with their emotions so that they can be calm, be peaceful, be centered, be the people that they are and that they want to be, but that all of this conflicting stuff coming in through social media, through all of the news of the day, through all the anxiety that they're feeling, how can they get through that and be the positive change? Because really the change comes from the youth, right? So if they are strong and empowered and have tools, the transformations that are going to happen in this country in the next several decades will be amazing and profound and in the right direction.
Yeah. I definitely can feel it. I think we're moving in the right direction. And now people can go to your website and get a tool for their teens, which is wonderful. Congratulations, Lauren, on your most recent book. I think it's a hit. All of them are, of course, but it is just lovely and so timely. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us about energy medicine yoga and how to have lasting freedom from stress and trauma. Have a beautiful day in Montana, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. I always love talking with you, and thank you for all of your words of praise. I really hope this book serves as many people as possible.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Lauren. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
And that's the Marie Manuchehri Show. We'll be right back with more with Open Call and Show Day with Marie. Be right back.
Thanks.
So, perception is everything. Join Marie for a brand new 12-week course and learn how the power of prolific healing can occur when you witness all things through the lens of spiritual perception. The class will kick off January 18th. So visit the online courses tab at energyintuitive.com for more information and to secure your spot. Because it's all about healing through altered perceptions.
It's time that you are heard, and I don't mean in just a conversation. I mean really heard. Imagine hosting your very own radio program on Alternative Talk 1150. Talk about being heard. Call 425-653-1150 right now to learn how affordable it can be to host your own radio show. Time slots are going fast, so take hold of this chance by dialing 425-653-1150. Alternative Talk. We have an opportunity waiting just for you.
Did you receive a call or message that mentioned Social Security and demanded immediate action? Did the caller know your social security number or other personal information and tell you that your social security number had been used in connection with the crime? Did you feel worried that your social security number might be suspended, your bank account might be frozen or seized, or you could be arrested? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, demand your personal information, or instant payment, email or text you pictures or documents, or use a real government official's name to gain your trust. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Do not be fooled. Hang up. Ignore them. Report this criminal activity to the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The Marie Manuchehri Show is streamed live over the internet. So if you have friends or family members living outside of the Seattle area, wanting answers to life's questions, encourage them to listen to the show and to call into the show to talk with Marie. If you are interested in receiving guidance on an issue in your life, call Marie locally at 425-373-5527 or toll free at 1-877-825-8828 for her insight into your situation.
Alternative Talk 1150. It's good for what ails you. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA.
Coming up next is an encore presentation of the Marie Manuchehri Show. Marie decided to take a couple weeks off, wrap up the summer. Until then, here's an encore show from last week.
And welcome back to the Marie Manuchehri Show. We're live here in, I think it'll be sunny later, Seattle. No, Benny's giving me that look.
A little,
Dang
but
it.
the thing is, the wind's going to pick up, unfortunately. So batten down the hatches.
Okay. All right.
Don't let all that beautiful grass blow away.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I have like 15 plants I need to put in the ground, but maybe this weekend.
I don't know. This weekend. We're actually going to do a raised bed
Ooh.
project this weekend. Hopefully that'll work out for
Are
us
you
too.
gonna plant vegetables or?
There's already some like raspberry bushes we're gonna like frame in around, and then for potential planting, but we're not really sure yet. We just want to get it all bordered in first.
Cool. That sounds like fun.
Project on the home. All right. So 877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. 877-825-8828. We'll start things out with Denise calling in from San Francisco. Hi, Denise.
Hello. Wow. I'm going to have to listen to this show again later because now it's very clear to me why I was guided to dial in today and that I actually got through after a year of trying.
Oh, you tried for an entire year? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Other people obviously had more urgent needs, and this was the show that I needed to dial into because it's all about my emotions. So,
great.
Perfection as usual.
Yeah, great choice.
I thank my guides every day, and I knew that they led me here, so it's just incredible. So thank you so much. As I was saying, I'm on this beautiful spiritual journey, and so grateful to my guides. And I've been asking them to help me break through this sort of dead end and find a community and just kind of get to the next level. And it's been mind blowing. So here I go with the emotions. So I get really overwhelmed all the time because it's like with love or just empathy for other people, and it's hard to sort of rein it in. I'm just so grateful to be able to chat with you today. So bear with me for a second.
Sure.
It's just I feel so overwhelmed sometimes by the feast of all these rabbit holes to explore on the spiritual journey, and I'm kind of needing a little bit of focus to figure out where my strengths lie and how I can use this to help others.
Okay, great.
So there's that, and I'm, if you could give me a general reading too. I don't know if I have to choose.
I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm going to try to answer just one question at a time because we have so many people who would like to have a question answered. First of all, what could be helpful, although I don't want to stop the emotional release. I think that's wonderful, especially if that's been an issue for you. But just know that leaving the heart chakra alone helps us to actually become more in that neutral alignment. And I don't mean you have to like negate it forever. You're in a really sweet spot where you're releasing more emotions than you have previously. But sometimes when people hang out, especially specifically in the heart chakra, a lot of people don't use all their chakra system. They hang out in their fourth, which is the heart chakra, and then their head, and then they ignore the rest of their energy system. And it can be really overwhelming when you're empathetic and you're in your heart chakra all the
Yeah.
time, and then you can't make decisions, you can't move forward, you're stuck, you have to recover constantly from the overwhelm, right? That's exhausting. So I would recommend that you start to bring your awareness to your feet. I always say hang out. Most people say, what do you mean by that? But even right now, while I'm sitting in this chair, I'm wiggling my toes. I'm forcing my mind to allow myself to feel my feet in my shoes. And because I even forgot what color shoes I put on this morning. And now that because my shoes are actually underneath, I can't look down and see them, that, they're.
Do you want me to check?
No, I know. And so all of a sudden I can see what color my shoes are. I even remember what my socks look like. And that's the present moment, right? The present moment is incredibly simplistic, really beautiful and extremely powerful. It's not the complicated, over analytical piece that the mind makes us think is the present moment. The mind has nothing to do with the present moment, other than I had to skip out to the kitchen and grab some warm water before I started to answer callers' phone calls. So I would love it if you would stay out of your chest and then and explore the rest of your body and see how you're able to perhaps still allow yourself to emote when you need to, which is important, but to not be so overwhelmed that you can't experience whatever it is that you want to experience, right? You can't move forward as easily. And then the other piece, I loved how you said you like to know what direction to move in to help other people, but I'm going to ask you to look at it from a different perspective. And as I say this, I just want you to know, and everyone who's listening, everything is about perception. And even though we may think that perception doesn't really matter, it absolutely 100% does. In fact, as a healer, my job every single day is to help change the perception of my clients. No matter what they're working on, no matter what's wrong with them physically, no matter what's happening, they have to look at it from a completely different perception, one that they've never entertained before, one that makes probably no logical sense to them. And that's how they start to move their subatomic particles in their body in a healthy, more fluent way. And so I brought this up to you because I don't, and you get to do whatever you want, but I don't want you to think of it as helping others. Will you? Of course. I want you to think of it, what can I do in the world that brings me such incredible joy, fulfillment, right? And excitement that also would be beneficial to others. I actually think when people focus just on the joy and the fulfillment, they will naturally help other people. Even the person who famously, and I don't know who they were, but made the sticky notes, that people would think, well, that's not very helpful. I mean, my house is covered with sticky notes. We use them all the time. They are extremely helpful. So I think people need to let go of, I have to help people, because that feels like a need and that feels urgent. And it feels, I don't think it's very fulfilling. It's almost like a leaking of energy is happening in the body when we I have to take care of them. It reminds me when I watched the grandkids, and I was watching my oldest children last Saturday. We live really close to each other, like 5 minutes apart. So I can be there pretty quickly. And they're like, we want to go out for dinner tonight. Do you want to come over? I'm like, yeah. So I'm over there, relaxing. And there's a little baby monitor in front of me, which I'm got my eyes glued to it because the baby sleeps on the king bed. And so I want to be there, even though she walks and she can get off the bed. I just don't want her to be groggy and fall off. So I was not relaxed at all. I'm just eyes on the monitor, ready to leap up the staircase at any moment to catch the 1-year-old, right? And so I wasn't very relaxed, but my brain was like, well, you have to do this because you have to keep her safe. You don't want her to fall. So I don't want people to enter into career paths from that energy. I don't think it's healthy. I want you to do it like, next time I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed because I didn't really get to enjoy myself. Because she is really smart and she knows how to get down and she'll be fine. And it's right there. I'll hear her. I'll happily walk up the stairs and hold her and rock her back to sleep or whatnot. I want you to look at moving forward in terms of what you're creating, in terms of your natural gifts and talents, that they're from a place of joy and fulfillment.
Yes.
Good. Great. And you're even getting out of your head right now. You're much calmer. Can you feel it in your body?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And that's where the consciousness comes from. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I said I've been wiggling my toes.
Oh, Great job. And that's where people get the inspiration. It's from those moments, not from, like my monitor, example. I wasn't, engaged. I was scared, and fear is not how we grow. Okay. So that's your homework assignment. You got it?
Yes.
I think you have some very strong clairvoyant, intuitive gifts. And I believe those will become more obvious to you the more you get out of your head and your heart.
Perfect.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day.
And we're going to now take Danae calling it from Traverse City, Michigan.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? I think Traverse City is really, really pretty. Isn't that true?
Yes, it is very beautiful. It's right next to the water.
Yeah. I think
Traverse or Traverse?
What is it? Traverse City? Traverse
City.
Traverse City, yeah. My middle daughter did an internship on a farm close to that area one year, and just kept telling me, Mom, this is really gorgeous here, really gorgeous. So what can I do for you?
So my question is, if I have any gifts in the multisensory world?
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you?
What are they?
You're actually really good at moving energy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, you're really good at it. Think about your life and how several things have changed for you relatively quickly if you put a little bit of effort into it. Would you agree that's true?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So really everyone's multisensory to some degree, honestly. People are definitely multisensory and have the consciousness for their own life. And then some people, like yourself, are meant to be multisensory for the public. So you're really good at moving energy. I would highly suggest, if you haven't done it already, is to study modalities, because I think you'd be a great energy worker.
Ooh, that makes me very excited.
Good. And that means we're on the right track, right? When we feel that excitement, that means, like when I walked into a hospital years ago, I was out of my mind excited, even though my brain was like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to even be in this hospital. Your mother would be yelling at you right now, So yeah, you have to follow I would study modalities, have fun. And then you can either work with one of them, or a lot of times what people do once they study modalities, they create their own. Energy and medicine.
Study under somebody that does energy work, or like just take a class.
Here's what I would do first. I would go to YouTube, and I would. Because I believe the universe is the greatest teacher of all, personally. And I would put in energy medicine modalities, and I would listen to what other people are saying or doing. And if anything makes you go, then I would look at their website and find out what classes they're teaching. Maybe take a quick course, see how you like it. Is it fun for you? Start playing with this. Start having fun. Okay?
Love it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
That was easy.
That was easy. Yes.
877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. We will take now Martha, who's calling in from Massachusetts. Hi, Martha.
Hello.
Hello, Martha. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be talking to you.
Yes. What can I do for you?
So, some amazing stuff is going to start happening next week.
Ooh.
I'm going to start doing chemotherapy for third stage breast cancer.
And so
it hasn't spread around my body. It's
that's
curable.
nice. That's really nice. Congratulations. Did you have a mastectomy?
No, they're doing the
chemo first. Yes,
chemo first, and then hopefully come the fall, these tumors will shrink and they won't have to remove all of my lymph nodes.
Oh, right, all the lymph nodes. Yeah, different doctors have different ways of making those decisions. Okay, so here's my question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want some coaching and how to.
Oh yeah, right. Well, first of all, I loved what you said about chemotherapy. Here's what I recommend, and I don't remember the name of what I'm about to tell you, and I don't have my cell phone with me. I left it home, so I can't look it up. But there are, and I know they haven't removed any tissue, so you're going to have to talk to your oncologist about this, because there are beautiful, wonderful techniques now where they take tissue samples, or in some cases blood, depending where the cancer is, and they send it to labs. Unfortunately, this is not standard of care in the United States, so people have to pay for out of pocket. And they actually try the different chemotherapy regimens that are recommended for that cancer on the tissue or the blood to see if it actually works. which is very incredible and smart.
Yeah. They tested all of my things.
Well, they tested your DNA, which is important.
They tested the types. It's triple positive.
I know, but that's still not the same thing as testing the chemo on to the tissue. Because see, modern medicine has this belief, which is inaccurate, that one size fits all, that you have this type of breast cancer, this is the type of chemo we use. You have this type of, health issue, this is the medicine that we use. But people are very unique based on their emotional body, based on the energy that they put in their body and their belief systems. That changes their chemistry even in their body. So if we take tissue samples and send them to these labs that are in this country and around the world, because in some parts of the world, this is standard of care, actually, as it should be here in the US. And so people don't have to waste their time doing certain treatments that aren't going to work for their tissues. Does that make sense?
So it does. It does. There's one treatment that's going to last 8 weeks, and then another one that lasts 6 weeks, and that's more specific, I guess.
Right.
To what I have.
What I do like, so I would ask you to ask your oncologist. A lot of oncologists don't like this new medicine for some ridiculous reason, and you don't have any tissue samples available because you still have your breasts intact. But I would definitely talk to your oncologist about this, so that you can at least get their feedback and find out more about this powerful tool that can actually save people a lot of time and energy. But here's something that I loved when we started our conversation, that you're excited about your treatment. That's a very important aspect. If people, regardless of what their treatment is, if they're authentically excited about it, that's a really good sign. That means that they're going to utilize the medicines, whatever type of medicines they choose, holistic or otherwise, in a positive way. So this is you're starting off in a really good place. Like, you're excited about it. Congratulations. I'm happy for you that you're excited.
Thank you. I'm I just want to try and keep my point of view positive and, carry on, in an upbeat kind of way.
Well, you don't have any leaks in your energy system, so you're on the right track. And I would keep using positive what if questions. What if my body loves this treatment? What if this treatment work incredibly well? What if I'm super happy and fulfilled? What if my energy system is pouring positive subatomic particles in all of my organs with every breath I take? Start repeating those what if questions all the time. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we're going to send you tons of light.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Martha, for joining the show. 877-825-8828. And we'll now take Camille in Los Angeles, I believe boarding a plane or close to it.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to Austin, Texas. But
Hey.
we're taxiing, so we'll see how long this lasts.
Okay. What can I do for you?
This is the first time.
All right, well,
Yeah, this
I'll
is
ask my
true.
question quickly.
Sure.
I've been with my boyfriend a little over a year, and he just moved in a couple months ago, and things have been some more challenges have come up. Some new things I'm learning about him, and I feel like we're having some issues with communication.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to decide if, this is a challenge I'm meant to go through, and he's sort of that person I'm supposed to be with, or
Yeah. Well,
the things I'm getting are not,
I wouldn't give up quite yet. I mean, you are picky. Agreed?
Yes.
You're so picky.
I haven't been married yet.
Yeah. And so he's having to, he's not used to doing all the hoops that you want him to do. You're picky.
Yes.
And you're
He
also
gets a little angry too.
Does he? Okay. Well, so I would sit down and talk about the anger, because that's not the appropriate way to respond in a relationship. But I would ask that you relax a little bit. And maybe not everything has to be in perfection the way you want it to be. You like the pillows a certain way. I mean, you look at every little something that's on the carpet and you remove it immediately. You like the kitchen super clean. You're just picky. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. So that's not fun, honestly. I would not want to live with someone like that. I have actually, now that I think about it, I have. And my house is clean. I mean, I'm a little bit messy in my bedroom, but I have a housekeeper that comes once a month and cleans everything up for me, which is lovely. But I think you need to relax. Maybe you need to have a housekeeper come if he can't clean to your level. And definitely the anger needs to be adjusted, because regardless of what's going on, you should not be yelled at no matter what. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that he's upset with me, and I'm like, I'm not exactly sure what I did to upset you.
Well, I
And so
think you're
that's
pushing his buttons by having all this control issues with your home.
got it. Okay.
That you're pushing his buttons, and he's used to being relaxed, and it's okay if he leaves a glass out on the table for the day. Not with you. Nope. It's got to be soaking in the sink if it's got anything on it, or immediately put in the dishwasher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's stressful for him. That's very stressful.
Okay.
All right. So I
How to
think
relax more.
I think you guys should sit down and talk about this right away.
Yeah, we're talking with like a therapist to help us out.
Good.
And,
That's
Good.
great start.
Smart.
you know.
Yeah. Because you guys do have great chemistry when other things aren't happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like when it's good, it's really good, and when it's not going well, it's it's pretty terrible to have to be around it.
A little chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can get things to shift, because you're also terrified of a relationship. So I think your buttons have been pushed. And so maybe get Lauren's book and start doing some of those exercises so you can work on some trauma that you have about relationships. Okay?
Okay.
All
right.
And have a safe
Excellent.
flight. Have a wonderful time. Go listen to some music.
Really appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. That was the first time I've ever had that.
I
She's
mean,
taxing away.
I mean,
when she
we've
calls
had
us.
it
Stays
in
on the
the
phone.
bathrooms, right, where people are hiding.
She
from
could have been
their
in the bathroom on the
employers.
plane.
That's true. She could have been, but but they won't let you go in the bathroom until they're up in the air at certain altitude, right?
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. Who do we have next?
Yeah, we'll take Sherry calling in from Southern California. We have two Sherrys, but hopefully I got the right one. Sherry.
Hello.
Hi, Marie.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Lovely. What
Marie?
Yeah.
Oh, my question is, I heard you talking about golden arches that we can build behind us.
They just naturally form. They naturally form. So, but you're right. In a way, they are built when you're doing a lot of internal personal work, consciously or unconsciously. And they just will start to magically appear behind you. And then there'll be 50 guides in each archway to help you. Yeah. I bet there's a lot right now.
I wanted to see if with the work I've been doing with much of it has been from you. And I want to see if I have that, if I'm starting to build that, or what that looks like.
You have 3 archways behind you. So that means you have 150 extra spirit guides right now.
Wow.
I know. And so this is not the time to stop doing inner work, but perhaps do it more playfully if you haven't been utilizing it that way. Make it more fun. Laugh about things, like joke, laugh, like our last caller, I think would be really fun if when she sees a dirty dish somewhere, just to laugh about it. Like, oh, there's a dirty dish right there. I wonder how long before mold starts to grow into it. Like she needs to relax. Right? She needs to relax about it. So I want you to relax about it. But yeah, you have an extra 150 guides. Your energy looks excellent. No leaks that I can see.
That is amazing.
Well, good job.
That's
Congratulations.
Because of you.
Oh, well, I can give the advice, but I can't go to everyone's house and make them do the work. I've thought about it. Believe me.
Well, you're in my mind constantly. Then I slip into the right tone and relax.
Oh, well, I'm very happy for you.
So
You deserve
you.
it. It's my pleasure. And have a gorgeous and beautiful day.
Thank you. You do the same.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry, for calling in. And we'll take the other Sherry. We'll go back to back Sherrys. And we'll take this Sherry. She's calling from San Diego. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course. What can we do for you?
So it's my back.
Okay.
Something happened with my back, and I'm not sure, and I'd love to just get in there and see what's going on.
Okay. Well, it's pretty active. Honestly, it probably really does hurt, or has some sort of spasm kind of situation going on, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Because it's very red for me energetically, which means it's acute as well. So people, when they have back issues or history of them or whatnot, chronic or intermittent, it has to do with being stubborn, not being flexible enough. I love that people laugh when I criticize them. And I don't mean to criticize. I don't mean to at all. I'm just, me, I'm pretty direct, right? So what could you,
and I've worked with you before.
Oh, good. So you're comfortable with it. I love that. So,
but this back stuff is new. It's completely new.
Well, that means that maybe you're working on something really new that you need to let go of. That's really important for you, and you're stubbornly holding on to it. So what in your life is different?
Oh, good. Well, I have been trying to do too much. That's kind of my pattern. And I was trying to be independent and go on a camping trip. And to Yosemite, and I was just prepping too much. And my body I bent over to pick something up, and it just extreme pain, and said, nope, you're not going anywhere.
So if you Google, this is going to sound weird, arm swinging tummy exercises. There's this lovely Chinese doctor on YouTube who does this really quick video. It's one of my favorites, and it strengthens the abdominal muscles and eases back problems. So if you can't find it, just write into energyintuitive.com. We'll send you a link to it. It works amazingly well. And next time, take someone with you on your trip. Because
I've learned that lesson.
Yeah, we all need help. Yeah, we all need help. And I'm glad you rested. I bet you're learning a lot. Sometimes the universe helps us to rest so that we can learn. And Benny's giving me the notes. I have to go. Thank you so much for calling in. Wishing everyone joyful blessings and have a beautiful and bright day. Bye-bye.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guest,